Hello, can you hear me? Welcome to today's broadcast. Welcome. Can you see me? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, say hello in the chat section. I already see some people who are already in the chat section saying hi. I've seen some questions already. So just say, can you go ahead and say hi if you can hear me? If you can see me, say hi. Okay, perfect. So I can see lots of people and I can, okay, so I can hear. Okay, so yeah, so I can see lots of people. I can hear lots of people. I say here, as if I'm hearing you guys. Maybe one day I'll give the opportunity for people to start calling into live broadcasts, and then you can ask your questions. So I will start the question with. I will start today's question and answer session with. I didn't even say hi. Tell me where you're from or whatever. Lots of questions already. Okay, let me start with the first question here. It says, "Hello, Wolo. I'm Nigerian, but obtained my qualification in food technology in South Africa. Which pathways would enable me migrate to Canada as a fresh graduate, 22 years, 1 year work experience?" Okay, so as a fresh graduate, you just have 1 year work experience. You do not have a master's degree. You might not get enough points for the express entry. Although you have the age factor on your side, but you need at least a master's degree, 3 years work experience, and yeah, you need those factors to help you get through the express entry. So since you don't have those factors, it will be very difficult getting through the express entry. And for now, I cannot see you going through any provincial nomination, especially with Ontario or Saskatchewan, because those are the two provinces that have been inviting people from outside Canada lately. So the best thing is try to get a master's degree, and if possible, start learning French to boost your points if you go through the express entry. So that's the first question there. The second question is, I wish to migrate to Canada via study. What province provides the best way for international students? I've already done a video on that. Can you check the video? I did a video on the best province for international students. Please check the video. It is stated there. You'll find the details there. The best province to get your PR as an international student is New Brunswick. Check the video. I've done a video concerning that already. Okay, so the next question. Unfortunately, I don't know. Please, what's delaying RCC process? I don't know. I don't know. I just share information that have already been shared, already in the public domain. Those are the information I share. Anything concerning the process, I don't know. So I won't be able to answer that question. Okay, so what's the next question there? I've already begun the process of my credential assessment, but opt for migration purposes. So will I be able to use the same assessed credential for future study application? Yes, if you're using WES or ICAS or any of the evaluating bodies, you can actually upgrade your assessed credentials to document by document or course by course. If you want to go back to school, some schools request that you send your transcript. So if you have evaluated your credentials using WES or any of the other evaluating bodies, they can also upgrade your credential or your ECA to the one that is suitable for academics. So yes, it's possible, but you cannot use your ECA for studies. You have to request that they upgrade your ECA to the one that is used for studies so that you can use it to apply to schools. Okay, so I hope I've answered that question. The next question is, what are the prospects for foreign trained teachers after they take the regulatory exam? Is it better to just change career? The prospects for teachers are well paid in Canada. They are well paid in Canada, and each province have their own fixed amounts that they pay. And for teaching, it's not, how will I put it now? You don't teach throughout the school session. During holidays, you have to go on break, or you have to go on what they call employment insurance. That is when the government pays you. And then when you come back, the school starts paying you. So teachers are well compensated in Canada. They can earn as much as from, let's say, depending on what you're teaching anyway, if you're teaching kindergarten or from K-12 and from grade 1 to grade 6, they have how much they pay them. If you're teaching from grade 6 to grade 12, they pay them well as well. So let's say between $60,000 to $80,000 to $100,000, depending on the province you are teaching. Teachers earn well in Canada. So that's the next question. What else? You need scholarship to study in Canada. You have to search for scholarships yourself. There are lots of scholarships everywhere online. You have to search for the scholarships yourself. I don't have a website. There is no dedicated website that has, let's say, Canadian scholarship, all of them in total. If not, I would have said, go to this website. So you have to do your own independent research. Even schools, they also have their own scholarships as well. So you have to look at the schools and what scholarships they have if you're going to look for a scholarship to come to as a means of financing your education. So the next question, can I just show 10,000 card and first year tuition for a 2-year MBA as proof of fund? I'm also planning on paying down my first term tuition. Well, there is a website where you have how much you can show as your proof of funds. There's a website. I think I would create a video with details concerning that and how to calculate your proof of funds if you're coming as an international student. I'll do a video for that. So please just remind me. 10,000 Canadian dollars depends. It depends. Another thing is you have to look at the province where your school is. If your school is in an expensive province, you have to factor in your cost of living. You have to factor in a lot of other things like materials you're going to use. So it can be more than $10,000. So just showing $10,000 is not enough. It can be more than $10,000 for your proof of funds if you're coming as an international student. So what else? I hope I'm not missing out the questions. I'm taking it in geez, it's like I've missed. Okay, no, I've not missed out the questions. Okay, the next question. Does PNP or express entry ask for tax returns? In some cases, they might. Express entry, especially in some cases, if they are not sure of your organization, they might ask. There have been cases where they ask people to submit their tax clearance certificate. So for those in Canada, they ask them to submit their notice of assessment. For those outside Canada, there are some cases they'll ask you to submit your tax clearance certificate or your tax card or whatever to show that you've been paying taxes to verify your employment. So in some cases, yes. Okay, so the next question, can my wife leave for the US for her PhD when we land Canada through express entry? She's the principal applicant. How does it affect us? So Canada has what they call, will I say not? Okay, so this is it. You have to fulfill the residency requirements when you come to Canada. As a principal applicant, you need to make sure that you live in Canada at least 3 years out of 5 years to qualify for citizenship, or 2 years out of 5 years, 2 years, continuous 2 years, or in between 2 years out of 5 years to qualify to renew your PR. Your permanent residency status expires after 5 years. So if your spouse will leave Canada to do her PhD in the US, if she does not meet the residency requirements, she will lose her permanent residency status. So she has to fulfill 2 years, that's 730 days in Canada, living in Canada for 730 days to fulfill the residency requirement for her PR status to be renewed, or she has to live in Canada for 3 years to fulfill the requirement of becoming a Canadian citizen. So you have to watch out for that. Besides, why is she going to do her PhD in the US when she can do her PhD in Canada as a Canadian permanent resident, which will be cheaper for her? If she goes to do her PhD in the US, except she has a fully funded scholarship that would that is making her wanting to go to do her PhD in the US. If she has the fully funded scholarship, then it's fine. But You have to be careful so that you don't lose your PR status, or she doesn't lose her PR status as a result of trying to get her PhD in the US. So the next question, holding a Bachelor of Commerce degree, sales officer experience in finance, also holding 5 years as a data entry operator. Your question is not complete, Harpreet Singh. Your question is not complete. Please send a complete question. Okay, so 4 years work experience, 2 or more certificates that have been evaluated. CRS is, oh, you have a fantastic score. Your CRS is 469. Okay, so the recent draws has been 469. I am wondering why you did not get an ITA. The last 2 draws were 469. If you want to improve it to 472, the only option is to start learning French. If not, you lose points by your next birthday. So if you can start learning French, at least get a B1 to give you some points, like 10 points, to push your points to 470 something, then it's fine. If not, you start losing points by your next birthday. You should have gotten an ITA by now with 469. So maybe you just put in your express entry profile after the last draw, because the last 2 draws had comprehensive ranking score draw were 469. Okay, so the next question from India, done cosmetology course from VLCC and other institute, and my work experience more than 10 years, and I want to come to Canada. Yes, you can come to Canada. If it depends, if you don't have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, it's very difficult coming to Canada, except you want to search for a job as a cosmetology. Maybe search for a job in the AIPP or RNIP communities, except that, or you come to Canada as a student. Because if you want to come through express entry, you need a master's degree at least and good language scores. So the next question, what's the procedure of getting family of 3 to live in Canada? The procedure is the same. If you want to immigrate, you have to write IELTS exams. You have to evaluate your credential. If you have the highest educational qualification, which is a master's degree, evaluate the highest degree, and then write the language exams, which is IELTS. You also need to check the comprehensive ranking system too, to see if you can immigrate through the express entry. If you can't immigrate through the express entry, there are provincial nomination options. There are also other options through the Atlantic Immigration Pilot, which means you have to search for a job. There are options through the RNIP, which means you also have to search for a job and get a community recommendation as well. So I hope I've answered that question there. Can I use visit visa to apply work permit? You have to search for a job first. You have to get a job offer first and then leave Canada before you apply for a work permit. So for visiting visa, it's against the law, though. Technically, it's against the law to use visiting visa to come and scout for a job. But if you have the connection and the network, if you find an employer that is willing to employ you, especially if you have the skills and you get an employment, then it's fine. You can then leave Canada, apply for your work permit, and then come back to Canada. So what else? Coming through visitation, short courses, get work permit. I've already explained that. During the course, after the course, and then how long will the course last? Normally, if you're going to do a short-term course, it's supposed to be for less than 6 months. So you have to look for courses that are less than 6 months, because any course that is above 8 months, it means you have to get a study permit. According to the Canadian website, you have to get a study permit if your course is going to be above 8 months. So if you're coming as a visitor and you want to do a short-term course, it should be less than 6 months. Okay. So is the crime rate in Manitoba really bad that some people raise concerns about settling there, especially coming from a country with a high crime rate like Nigeria? Well, I live in Manitoba. Okay, so crime rates, you see one thing there. There is a way media blows things out of proportion. I had the same fears when I was still in Nigeria. When I did a Google search of crime rate in Manitoba, and I saw it, I was like, hey, crime rates. It's too much. I will not be able to stay there. But the person who was living here was like, what's there? People are living here. People have not. There's nothing. Okay, so let me explain the crime rate. Let me not speak too much grammar, because there are lots of questions I still have to answer. Now, the thing is, the crime rate is among certain group of people. Nobody bothers you. If you live, there is a zone called the red zone. If you live in that red zone, That means you experience burglary. If you park your car, they can break into your car and try to look for maybe $1 or $2 that you left in your car, or any valuables that you left in your car. So the idea is avoid the red zone. If you stay out of the red zone, you don't have any problem. There are other safer neighborhoods in Manitoba. The same thing applies to every province. Every province has a crime rate in Canada, and it's not that only Manitoba has the highest crime rate. No, every province has their red zone. If you go to every province, just ask where is the red zone of this province and avoid the red zone. So if you're not living in the red zone, you don't have any problem. You can do whatever you like, go around your midnight. And even the crime happens to people in a particular group, particular, maybe gangsters, maybe whatever. They just, they just do their thing themselves. They are not bothering normal human beings. If you're doing your thing yourself, nobody's coming to bother you. You are safe. You don't have any issues with anybody. Okay, so I hope I've answered that question there. What else? You did recommend a certain RNIP participating community as it tends to have lesser community requirements. What is it, please? I can't. Will it be North Bay? I think North Bay. Check North Bay. Check Moose Jaw. Check Thunder Bay as well. Check Sault Ste. Marie. Check these communities. You just have to check each individual community requirement and see if you can meet. Check Sault Ste. Marie, check North Bay, check Thunder Bay, check Moose Jaw, check which one again now. It's not coming to my memory. Just check the videos. I've done the videos already. Just check them out, please. Thank you. Okay, so you have experience as a driving instructor, got a degree in public administration and development studies. I'm single. What's the best way to get to Canada? What's the best pathway for you? Normally, everything is dependent on your qualifications and your language scores. If you cannot go through the express entry, then check the provinces if you can go through provincial nomination. So you say you have a degree. If you had a master's degree, I would have said you should check Saskatchewan provincial nomination, especially if your language scores are very high. Saskatchewan provincial nomination favors people who are between the ages of 35 to 45 if they have high language scores. But with the recent introduction of French language, I don't know whether they'll be reducing their draw scores now, because their draw scores have been high lately. So maybe people will start learning French. Okay, so next question. You are living in Kuwait. You like to know if it is possible to apply as a nanny. Yes, it is possible to apply as a nanny, yes. The good thing is you're from Philippines. Most Filipinos, they actually get these nanny jobs in Canada. So if you can try to connect with your fellow Filipino living in Canada to help you source for a job, they can help you connect you to an employer and help you get a job offer. Most Filipinos, they are the ones that get most caregiving jobs. Most Filipinos, because that's my observation. No, I'm talking according to my observation, please. Most Filipinos get, they easily get nanny job offers from outside Canada. So just connect with a fellow Filipino who is living in Canada to help you connect you to an employer that can employ you and come to Canada. Okay, so the next question, you hope to come to Canada through the child caregiver. Yes, I just explained that this caregiver opportunity favors a particular group of people. Now, since the major challenge is getting a job offer, if you can connect with someone you know who is in Canada to help you search for an employer, it will be fine. Because, most people like to look for people they know that they can recommend. They don't just want to employ a stranger. So if you have someone living in Canada that can help you source for an employer, it will be fine. Yeah, so please try to look for someone that can help you look for an employer, because a family would like to employ someone at least they have familiarity with, So if, for instance, if I'm familiar with a family and they need a child caregiver to help take care of their children, I can talk to them and say, oh, I have someone who does this job very well. this is the job the person has been doing. Can you take the person? Because of my relationship with that person, they will consider me, you know. But if you are just a stranger like that applying, it's very difficult getting a job offer like that, because they like networking, they like people that they can talk to, they like people that they at least they have a certain level of relationship with before they can give such people job offers, not just employing strangers. Okay, next question. Can an apprentice baker apply to Canada? As an apprentice, no. You need to have at least some form of work experience first before you can apply. Next question. Okay, just got COPR, congrats. What's the earliest time to apply for subsidies in Canada, mostly in Alberta? Okay, so when I did the video with Henry, that would have been the best time to ask this question. Can you check the live video I did with Henry concerning Alberta? Once you land, try as much as possible to search for all the, I would not say subsidies, I would say some, just try to search for them. Go to the Alberta government website and try to search for what newcomers can get. I know newcomers can get subsidized transportation. They can get, according to Henry, they can get subsidized, will I say, they can get some amount from 2 organizations. I think he mentioned CSES or whatever. They give rent subsidy for a period. I don't know. Just try to check that video. The information is there. Check on that video, you get it. Then what else again? I think those are the only 2 things I can really remember for Alberta. Okay, so I think I've answered this question already. Okay, you just concluded your master's from Unilag, waiting Senate approval before sending for evaluation. Did IELTS 2 weeks ago with overall score 7.5. How is this relevant? Okay, if you had just 6.5 or 1 factor and you had 8, 7.5, 7.5 or 7, you can ask for a remark in your reading if it's possible. If you know you're confident of what you did, you can ask for a remark on your reading to push your score from 6.5 to 7 so that you can get an extra point, because once you get the perfect score, which is 8777 on all factors, it gives you extra points in your express entry profile. So yeah, I hope I've answered that question. Okay, how can I apply to college and get student loan on my first semester when I come to Canada? Unfortunately, you cannot get a student loan in Canada because you're an international student, right? Student loans are usually given to permanent residents and Canadian citizens, except you want to apply for a student loan from your home country, then that's fine. But international students cannot get student loans while living in Canada because you are a temporary visitor. They don't want you to run away with their money. So you cannot get student loan as an international student in Canada. Okay. The thing I would advise you to do is look for scholarship instead of looking for a student loan. Next question. Can you help us with sample explanation letter how to apply for study permit? Unfortunately, I cannot. I can refer you to a regulated Canadian immigration consultant to help you do that. Once it comes to this words, I try as much as possible to limit myself. I don't do such things so that nobody will go and quote me somewhere. You know, I try as much as possible to avoid this kind of topics. Okay, so talk to a regulated Canadian immigration consultant to help you with an explanation letter, to help you with an appropriate letter to submit your application. It will help. Okay, can work experience gotten before completion of studies count towards the 3 years of work experience or more? Depends on how you want to explain how you got the work experience before the completion of studies. If the organization is a well-established organization, if it is recognized, yes, it can count. But if you're working with someone who has no social media presence, no online presence, how do you explain the work experience? They might look at it as an internship that you're trying to claim as work experience. So you have to be very careful with that. Okay. But if it's an established organization and you got the work experience before you completed your studies, it's fine. It can count as 3 years work experience. So next question, do I need to submit my certificate, work experience, or letter as a spouse? My wife is the main applicant for his. I don't understand this question. I don't even know what HCCSP means. So please, can you explain further? Next question, can I apply to college? Okay, I think I've answered that question. I've answered that question, so I'll move to the next. Getting basements in buildings. Please, how can a new immigrant go about it before landing at Winnipeg? Okay, so to get a basement apartment, check Kijiji. Kijiji is a very popular website everybody knows in Canada, but you have to be very careful because there are scammers also in Kijiji. Check Kijiji. You'll see lots of people advertising basements for rent. And most people, you will need somebody to like help you. If you're going to land in Winnipeg as a new immigrant, you need somebody to help you look at the place if it is habitable. Sometimes pictures can be how will I put it? They can be deceiving. They can put lovely pictures on the internet, but by the time you see it physically, it doesn't marry. There's no correlation between the picture and what you're seeing live. So sometimes I say it's better to come and land first and see what you want to rent before you start paying for something when you're not in Canada, or ask someone to help you look at the property. If it is okay, then you go ahead and pay for it before landing. Okay, so I hope I am not missing out questions. The questions are too much. Jeez. The questions are too much, you guys. I think I've missed out. Okay. I've missed out some questions, so okay, let me see this one. As an international postgraduate student, can you be able to take care of your tuition and general expense with the 20 hours of work per week? Unfortunately, it's not possible. Like, it's not see, the workload, schooling in Canada is highly intensive. The workload will it's not easy combining academics and work. I have gone through it and I know what it is like to combine academics and working. It's not easy, right? So as an international student, please prepare your money. A lot of students just come and they can't cope and they drop out, which is not what Canada wants. Canada wants people to come, study, focus on your studies and graduate, not coming to drop out. To be sincere, 20 hours of work week cannot be able to pay for your tuition and general expense. So try as much as possible to, how will I put it? Have enough funds that can cover for your tuition. Then the small money you make out of your 20 hours work per week can cover for your small expenses like living expense. So try as much as possible to get enough money before coming to Canada. I've answered that question. How will I get job in teacher category? Teaching is a regulated profession. Unfortunately, you cannot get such jobs under RNIP. So just count that one out. You cannot get such jobs under RNIP. Okay, next question. I've answered that question. This question is always repeating itself, please. As an international student, does one have to pay semester tuition or session tuition to get a study permit? It is okay to pay tuition. It's not set on stone to say, okay, you're paying. If you pay tuition, they will give you visa. There are so many factors that they look at before they give visas, So, yes, you can pay tuition, but it is not a guarantee that you get a visa. Okay, so can my uncle sponsor me to study in Canada? Yes, you can have a sponsor to, you can have a sponsor to support your application, somebody that can sponsor you financially. And you also need to look at your age as well if you're going to have a sponsor. If your age is on the high side, having a sponsor might be a red flag. So you have to watch out for that. What else? Okay, congrats. You just landed in Calgary. Congrats. Welcome to Canada. Hope you're enjoying Calgary. Okay. Yeah, I'll connect you to Calgarians. Maybe we'll chat later. Just send me an email. Let me see if I can connect you to Calgarians. Okay. You're applying to get a tourist visa first, then a job there. Would that be okay? Or I need to get a working visa? Thank you. A tourist visa allows you to come as a visitor. It doesn't allow you to work in Canada. So when you come to Canada as a visitor and you connect to employers, it's an opportunity for you to connect to employers. If you see an employer that is willing to employ you as a visitor, it's fine. But you have to apply for your work permit outside Canada, not inside Canada. Because of COVID, they gave a temporary measure for people who were visitors to apply for work permits in Canada. But the rule is you have to apply for a work permit outside Canada, according to the Government of Canada website. Everything I'm saying is according to the Government of Canada website, which you have to check and verify yourself. Please check and verify again yourself. Thank you. Okay, next question. Any scholarship for medicine school? Unfortunately, no. Like I said, scholarships, check for it online. You have to do extensive research on your own. There is no website that has all the scholarships. I wish there is a website. Maybe, in fact, okay, an idea just popped up in my head right now, which I will look into, right? So for scholarship, you have to search for the scholarship on your own. Next question. Since the engineering fields are regulated in Canada, can an engineer abroad get a job without being licensed? Depends. If your skill is highly technical, you can get a job. I use the word highly technical. Highly technical. You can get a job. Especially if your kind of engineering has to do with producing a machine where you are the only one that knows how to repair the machine. If you're the only one that knows how to fix the machine, you're the only one that knows how to, maybe the company you're working with presently, they want to sell that particular machine to a company in Canada, and the company in Canada needs somebody to be able to operate the machine or teach people how to use the machine, then you can get a job. Besides that, you cannot get a job if you're just searching for a job from outside Canada. Okay, next question. Registered nurse in Nigeria, not planning to do nurse now. So I've been applying for jobs at CCA, PSW, but I've not been able to get any job offer. What do you think I can do to help? Okay, so it depends on your resume. Do you have a Canadian standard resume? If you have a Canadian standard resume, it will help you narrow down your search time. And searching for a job is a full-time job itself. So you're not just throwing one resume and expecting them to reply to you. You have to send like thousands of resumes. Thousands. You have to send thousands of resumes every day. You have to keep applying every day. So it's a full-time job itself. So just keep applying. And if you have somebody in Canada, the person can also help you connect you to employers as well. RNIP, I've done several videos on RNIP. Check the videos out. That's the purpose of having the videos. 18,000 enough for me to study MBA in Canada. 18,000 Canadian dollars. Depends on the school. How much is the tuition fee for the school? You have to check the school website to know what your tuition fee will be as an international student. If your tuition fee is $50,000 for an MBA, $15,000 is just the tuition fee alone. You need money to pay for your rent. You need money to feed. You need money for transportation. You need money for other things. So, $18,000. Is the $18,000 for just tuition fees alone, or will it cover for every other thing? Okay, so next question. 1 year program and have almost 7M as proof of funds. What are my chances of getting my study visa considering your age? Like I said, there are several factors they look at. Watch the video on study permit refusals and assess yourself. I already did a video on that. There are several factors they look at before they give visas. The major factor is, can you prove to the visa officers that you will be able to return to your home country? If you cannot prove that, just having money in your account is not enough, right? You need to prove to the visa officers that you have what it takes. You have the capacity of returning back to your country without relying on the Canadian government or wanting to stay back in Canada. So I hope I've answered the question there. Next question. Can I come to Canada under owner-operator program? Please check the video I did with Mr. Bill. I did a video on that, a live video on that. And the questions were answered there for the owner operator program. Check the video I did with Mr. Bill. You will find your answers there. What else? Yes, your uncle can study to can sponsor you. I think I've answered this question before. How can I get a job where you work currently? Unfortunately, you cannot get a job where I work currently. I can't tell you where I work, unfortunately. Okay, so what else? I just landed in Canada. Good vibes. Okay, welcome to Canada. Congrats. Welcome to Canada. What else? Next question. Can you help me some job sites from beauty where I can apply for jobs? Job sites, check indeed.ca, check jobbank.gc.ca, check monster.ca. I think I need to do fine. Okay, so I'll do a video on job sites where you should search for jobs. Yeah, I will do a video on that. What else? You've sent several mails to professors over the past 1 year without a positive response. They all don't have openings. You are in the STEM field. What can you do? Okay, STEM. Send several emails. When you say send several emails, depends. Most professors are very busy, right? They are very busy, and most of them, they need to have grants to be able to take someone as a under them. They need to have grants to be able to, let's say, take someone, right? So if they don't have grants, if they don't have funding, it means they cannot take you. Is that how you want to fund yourself? So you have to mention that when you're sending your emails. You have to say, okay, you're a self-funded student, or I think you're talking about coming under PhD or coming as a master's degree holder. If you're coming as a PhD holder, you have to indicate in your email that you'll be self-funded, so that they'll know, okay, if they have room to take you. Another thing is, most of the professors, they might be too busy to respond to your email. So you have to look for their social media handle. Search for their social media handle and see if they are active on social media. If they're active on social media, connect with them on social media, connect with them on LinkedIn, connect with them on Twitter, connect with them on Facebook, and then communicate with them through that means. If they are not responding to your emails, you first of all start building a relationship with them. Don't just say, hello, I sent you an email back. No, that doesn't work. You have to if they're active on social media, especially LinkedIn or Twitter, then whatever comments they make on LinkedIn, go ahead, make a comment there. If they make a comment on Twitter, go ahead, make a comment there. Just to, start trying to get their attention. Once you get their attention, then that's when you'll be able to tell them, okay, you are a STEM person, you want to come, and you're trying to get a professor to be the name is not coming to my memory now. You're trying to get a professor and all that. Another thing is this. Some of the professors also might not be doing research in your field. They might not be supervising in your field. So you have to look at the areas they have. You have to look at their niche. You have to look at the areas where they provide supervision for, right? If they are not providing supervision for, let's say, let me use one example now. Let's say you are looking for a professor. I'm not using STEM because I'm not so familiar with STEM. I'm using the arts now. Let's say there's a professor in administration and you want to look at operations management or supply chain, and the professor is not in that area. He might not respond to your email, except the professor's area or niche is in the area you have your interest of research in. That's when they'll respond to you. I think I spent so much time responding to that question. Okay, next question. Your profile was just created on Thursday, so just start learning French, just to give you an added advantage, just in case the scores go up, or pray that the score remain at 469. Next question. Accountant in Nigeria, MD, MSc, account 50 years. What's the best option for you to locate? Check Saskatchewan province. Check Saskatchewan. But you need, if you cannot get the highest language score, a CLB 8, preferably a CLB 9. You might not get the highest points for for Saskatchewan. Next question. Art and sculpture postgraduate 5 years course in India from reputed institution, regular. Looking for job as teacher, sculpture. Sculpture. You know what? I have to do research on that. I don't have an answer for that. If sculpture falls under occupations that needs licensing in Canada, I have to do my research on that. Okay. The scope of social work occupation in Canada. Social work is very broad, and it's a good paying job. It's a good paying occupation. It is very broad. So it's very, how will I put it? It is highly in demand. Will I say highly in demand? Anyway, graduates of social work, they can always get jobs. That's just the truth, because they are always needed. The demand is okay. The demand is moderable. Is it easy to get a visa from Nigeria to Canada? Depending on the kind of visa you're applying for. So I don't have an answer to that. Depends on the visa you're applying for. Next question. I think I've answered that question already. Work permit can take how many days to issue? Depending on the country you're applying from. Each country has its own processing timeline. For some countries, 8 weeks. For some other countries, it can take as much as 18 weeks or 20 weeks to apply. So according to the Government of Canada website, check the website, you'll see the information there. So you put your country, the country you're applying from, and check how long it will take to get a work permit. Do they have guns in Canada like America? Okay, yes, but you need to get a license. You cannot just go buy. You need to get a license to have a gun. And there are strict gun rules. I already did a video on that, where the government is buying back some category of guns. I did a video on that early this year. The government is buying back some category of guns from gun owners, and it's not like that in America, where somebody will just come out and all that. But certain people are allowed. The indigenous people of Canada are allowed to have guns because they use it for hunting. If you come to Canada, you learn about the indigenous people of Canada. They are the real owners of Canada, and they are allowed to have such weapons for hunting purposes only, and they have where they stay. So they have, yeah, I think that's what I will say for now. Let me not go beyond that. What else? Because the questions are too much. Okay. Do I need to have express? No, you don't need an express entry profile if you are applying under RNIP. RNIP is a different immigration pathway and does not require an express entry profile. What else? And it just needs a minimum CLB4. What else? When you change the college, do we need to get new study permit? No, you don't need to get a new study permit. You just need to inform IRCC that you're changing schools in Canada. Just inform them that you have changed schools according to the Government of Canada website. All this information I'm sharing, they are already in the public domain in the Government of Canada website. Okay. What else? With a BSc in computer science, with over 2 years work experience in the IT industry, can I immigrate to Canada and get work? Which immigration pathway? With just a BSc, I think I've explained that you need a master's degree. With just a BSc, you will not get enough points. You need a master's degree. And depending on your area of IT, if your experience is in software development, you can start searching for a job. If not, try and get a master's degree so that you can immigrate through the normal express entry stream or through provincial nomination. I think I've answered that question already. Okay. In Dubai, planning to go to Canada as an HVAC duct installation professional. Under which province can I apply? HVAC is a trades occupation, so you cannot just get a job like that. You need a certificate of qualification or a red seal for you to work as a HVAC in Canada. So you need to check the province you want to go to. Of course, you need to get a red seal before. Sorry, I'm repeating myself. You need to get a red seal or a certificate of qualification before you can even apply for, what do you call it, immigration under the federal skills trade. But if you're just coming to say you want to search for a job, you need a red seal. You need to have some form of licensing in Canada before you can work as a HVAC. Okay, check my videos. I have my emails in my videos. Check the description box of my videos. You will see them there. People keep asking me this question. I don't know why they don't check the description box. So how do you know which is the red zone? Okay, so what you do is Google. Just go on Google and type red zone of Ontario. You will see the information there. You go put red zone of Alberta, you will see the information there. Red zone of Manitoba, you will see the information there. Okay, with the demand for French in Saskatchewan, which happens to be last hope for some people, doesn't mean that those without French can't get to Saskatchewan through OID, even with 10 years work experience. That is what it is looking like at the moment. That is what it is looking like. We don't know. But if the scores drop, then it's fine. If the scores don't drop, that means you have to start learning French to boost your scores. Because, you know, these things is a factor of what scores they use in giving people letter of invitation to apply. The last draws were 71. It had been 68 all along. For some time, it went up. It's been fluctuating. And then it started going up again. So the best thing is to start learning French. What else? Is that... I've answered your question. Okay, I think I've answered this question. What else? There are so many questions. Please stop repeating questions. If you've put in a question once, don't repeat it again so that other people can have opportunity. I know your advice against BC. Can you please bring... Yes, I have contacted her because I schedule my life. You know, I don't just bring people like that. I have to look for their timing and then fix a date. I've contacted the lady I want to talk to concerning living in BC, and she said she's not feeling fine. So she said we should push it to January next year, which means I won't be able to bring her until January, right? Hopefully I'll bring more people, even for Ontario. I'll still bring another person. I mentioned it yesterday that I was going to bring Faye Mark. We've concluded on that. I'll bring Faye Mark again. As I say again, as if I've brought her before. Sorry. I'll bring Faye Mark. I'll announce the date. Faye Mark will be also in January as well. So January, somebody from BC will be talking. Somebody from Ontario will be talking again. I even want to bring from individual cities. Maybe somebody from Edmonton, somebody from Ottawa, somebody from, you know, from different cities rather than concentrating on the province. Because if I concentrate on the province alone, you won't get the full information. Okay, so what else? Next question. I think I've answered this question. So please stop repeating your questions if I've answered your questions, because it is blocking other people's questions. Okay. What else? How easy is it to change career from banking to nursing? Oh, you're heading to Nipawa. Great. Nipawa is a beautiful place. Funny enough, I've not been to Nipawa. See me, I said I was going to travel around Manitoba. I've not had the time. It's just, please forgive me. Okay, so you said you want to switch from banking to nursing. You have to be prepared though. Like, you have to be mentally prepared if you're going to go to school in Canada. And you're switching from a social science program to a sciences program. So you have to be mentally prepared to take on the challenge. It is not an easy profession. Nursing is not an easy profession in Canada. That's why they are always in demand of nurses. People just pick up nursing, start, and they see that they cannot cope, they drop it, because it is not an easy profession. So you have to be very prepared for that. So yeah, it's a good thing. The jobs are always in demand. Even before you finish school, a job is waiting for you in nursing. So yeah, I hope I've answered that question there. Can a man do home caregiver and does it need experience? Well, it depends on who you're working for. If the family prefers a man, then it's fine. But I've not seen where a man is doing home caregiver work. To be sincere, I've not seen I've not seen that one. Okay, so I wish to know how to reach employers for jobs and how to do AIPP. The employers list for each AIPP province is on their website. The employers list is there. Maybe I'll do a video on that. Maybe. I think I should do a video on that. Maybe that should be the next video, where you see the employers list. You have to reach out to each employer to search their website if they have a job opportunity available. I think I'll do a video on that. Okay, what else? I think I want to do any cosmetology course from Canada. What can I do? Search for schools. Search for each school. First of all, determine the province you want to live in, and then search for schools that have cosmetology programs in Canada. What else? Okay, French tutor spaces. No, they are not filled up. I have 3 more tutors that I said I was going to announce. I have not announced it yet. Okay, I'm announcing it now. There are 3 more tutors I have, and 1 is already getting filled, so 2 more tutors are left. I will announce it. It's first come, first serve. Please, if you want to learn French, send me an email so that I can connect you with the tutors. They'll be starting January 4th. And yeah, French is very important now if you want to immigrate. And it's even important for your future, because I wanted to even say it. If a unilingual person is getting a job, if just an ordinary job, and they are paying the person $14 per hour, they will pay somebody who is bilingual $16 per hour. So French is important. You're not just learning it to get through or come to Canada. You're learning it for your future as well, because it is needed. Even to become the Prime Minister of Canada, you need to be bilingual. That is the criteria. You need to be bilingual to become the Prime Minister of Canada. So we have future Prime Ministers on this live YouTube channel, and start learning French. Please send me an email if you need French tutors. Send me an email. Okay, so next question. How long does the English language test last before it gets? 2 years. It lasts for 2 years, so you have to be very careful. It's better to evaluate your credentials first before you even do the language test. And yeah, try as much as possible to prepare so that you can pass it once and for all. If you come with your wife in caregiver program, your wife is the main applicant, will you come with your wife as an open work permit, then go back to your home country for a while? Yes, you can come with your wife as a caregiver program and then come under open work permit. If you want to become a permanent resident as fast as possible, why don't you just work for 1 year and then apply under the Canadian experience class instead of going back to your home country? You know, if you come with your wife and your wife is still working, she will have to work for 2 years before she can be eligible to apply for permanent residency. Whereas you can work for 1 year and then apply to become a permanent resident under the Canadian experience class, or maybe through a provincial nomination. And before your wife can get her 2 years work experience, you can become a permanent resident before that. Okay, so I've answered that question. What else? Banking industry, primary applicants. Okay, well, what advice do you want me to give to you? Your question is blank. It's just, you're just telling me what you've done. Your question is blank. If it is concerning living in Manitoba, it's fine. Then you can tell me, you can ask a question concerning that. Okay, I think I've answered this question. This person keeps repeating this question all the time. Please stop repeating questions so that I can reach other people. Is it necessary to show supporting documents for funding from my company, or is your company the one sponsoring your education? If your company is sponsoring your education, then they can provide supporting documents. But if your company is not sponsoring your education, you need to have your own funds yourself. Electrical technician. Electrical technician occupation is a regulated occupation in Canada. So you need to get a license before you can work in Canada. You cannot get such jobs from outside Canada, unfortunately. Immigration continues. That's never stopped before. Which immigration are you referring to? Immigration has been ongoing. So there's nothing like immigration beginning in January, except maybe you're referring to the one for Newfoundland and Labrador, which I did a video on, that is starting January 2. That's a specific province itself. Okay, next question. What's the place of a secondary school teacher for 7 years? Teaching profession, if it's excluded, unfortunately it's excluded because it's a regulated profession in Canada. So unfortunately you cannot get a nomination from Saskatchewan because that occupation is already excluded. Is there anything like creating a profile too early, like with scores are currently low but working towards adding a certification? Can I create a profile now? If your language scores are below 6 on all factors, reading, speaking, listening, and writing, if they are below 6, you cannot create an express entry profile. So you need to get the highest scores. Try as much as possible to get above 6 or get the highest scores. You didn't ask your question. Sorry. I would have answered. You didn't ask your question. Ahmed Jamal has been posting too many questions on the same topic, which I have answered. Please stop posting the same questions. Okay. How is your project going? Yeah, the project is done. I'm just waiting for the final letter to come in so that I can announce it. Okay, I will announce it. Don't worry. I think I've answered that question, right? So, what else? Leave apart. If you're applying for express entry, do we need to be in the same country to apply? No, you don't need to be in the same country to apply. She can be the principal applicant and living in the United States. You can be living in Nigeria. As long as you meet the criteria to apply, you apply. It doesn't matter if you're living in different countries. The only thing is you have to provide police clearance certificates for the countries you live in. No update for Alberta PNP. Alberta PNP is closed until they announce that they have reopened. Unfortunately, just cancel Alberta for now. What else? Does any family-related jobs need LMIA? No, most family-related jobs do not need LMIA. You can search for family-related jobs. In fact, if you can get a family-related job that can bring you to Canada, it's fine. What else? Okay, so since engineering jobs are regulated, which jobs in the field of applied sciences are unregulated? Sales. If it's a sales job that has to do with the sales of maybe a machinery or something, a sale of a product, then it's fine. You can get such jobs, but the core engineering itself is regulated. Okay, nursing in Canada is how many years, please? Nursing in Canada is depending on what type of nursing you're going for. You have the licensed practical nurse, you have the registered nurse, you have psychiatric nursing, you have mental health nursing. Depending on the kind of nursing you're going for. If it is licensed practical nurse, it's just 2 years. If it is registered nursing, it is 4 years. Some schools you can get accelerated 3 years. Psychiatric nursing is also 4 years. So it depends on the nursing. What else? Okay, studying at the University of Winnipeg. Well, for PACE is a good program, especially for people who want to be professionals. And the good thing is they connect you with industry employers. So before the end of your program, you likely meet employers that can even hire you for internship, where you can do some form of internship. And if you perform well, you can get a permanent job offer. So PACE is a good program. What else? Is it possible for a plumber technician to get? No, you can't get such jobs from outside Canada. You need to have a license. These occupations are regulated in Canada. They are trades occupation and they are regulated. You need to be able to know how to do plumbing. Their plumbing is different from your own plumbing. You might be doing plumbing your own way, and they might be doing plumbing their own way. So you need to get their own license before you can get such jobs from outside Canada. My time is running out. I will just have few more minutes before I can end this live. I hope I have answered most of your questions. Please, if I have not answered most of your questions, I am sorry. I have to do another live for that. If you want me to do another live, please put in the comments, because I can't answer all the questions today. I just have few minutes left. I'll spend the next 5 minutes because I have another appointment and I'll be done. What else? Please, is there school for truck drivers in Manitoba? Yes, there are enough schools for truck drivers in Manitoba. Enough of them. There is Bison. Is it Bison? I can't remember if it's. I think it's Bison. Yes, Bison. Or is it Bison? I can't remember. I'll find out. But there are enough schools for truck drivers in Manitoba. What else? Any updates for NPNP family ties? No update yet. If there's an update, of course, I will announce it. You know now. I don't. Those information. If there's an update, I'll be the first to announce it. You'll be the first to know. So what else? Please, how are the chances of getting a job after master's in public health? I have a bachelor's in general medicine. Is there a high demand of public health jobs? Yes, public health jobs. Yes. You have to look at the province you are living in, right? So these jobs are dependent on the province. In general, I cannot say yes, because I live in Manitoba. I don't know what is happening in Ontario. I don't know what is happening in Alberta. I don't know what is happening in Saskatchewan. So you need to look at each province website and their own government job website, because such jobs are under the government. You cannot get such jobs in the private sector. You need to look at their government jobs website and see if there are opportunities in public health, right? That's the only way for you to determine which areas have more jobs under public health and which areas don't have more jobs under public health. Okay, so I have 4 more minutes left. Okay. Looking for a job as a software developer in Canada is hard. How can I narrow down my search? And if I come work in Alberta, can I also apply for postgraduate studies while I work? Okay. Your question is not straightforward. Software developer jobs. Have you checked vanhack.ca? Is it vanhack.ca or vanhack.com? I think it's vanhack.com. Check vanhack.com. They hire from there. There are employers that go to vanhack.com. Check CompuNet as well. They look for software developers. And then maybe I will do a video about that. I think I need to. There are several videos I need to do. Maybe someone should even summarize the videos I said I would do, because I don't have a pen and paper I'll watch the video again and take note of the videos I promised I would create for these opportunities. In general, if you want to search for a job, the first tool, your first marketing tool for your own self is your resume. How is your resume? If your resume is not up to standard, up to Canadian standard, you're wasting your time, because recruiters just look at your resume for 7 seconds, right? So for example, now I have this envelope and I wrote some things there. If I just pick it, can you see the envelope here? So if I just pick it, let's say this envelope is your resume. I'm just scanning. In 7 seconds, if I don't see anything catchy, I drop it. That's how recruiters work in Canada. So if you are not putting catchy things, if your resume is not up to standard, they will not look at your resume, right? Another thing is your networking skills. How good are you at networking? You need to network very well. Network your way to getting a job offer. As a software developer, you are highly in demand in Canada, and they are looking for software developers. So you need to network your way. You need to get a Canadian standard resume, which I always announce. If you need one, send an email. I'll connect you to people that do Canadian standard resume, and then you can start applying for jobs. Okay, you can also start networking via LinkedIn as well, and then check vanhack.com. I have 4 more minutes, and then this live will end. What else? I live in Germany and I wish to come with my 3 kids. Do I need to pay for my kids' school fees, or is it free? Depending on what you're coming as. Are you coming as a permanent resident, or you're coming as a visitor? If you're coming as a visitor, you're not entitled to, you cannot send your children to school. But if you're coming as a permanent resident, schooling is free for your children if they are within school age until maybe they get into university, then you have to pay for tuition fees. So how are you coming to Canada? Are you coming to Canada as a permanent resident or as a visitor or as a work permit holder? If you have work permit, your children can go to school for free in Canada. Okay, so what else? Let me answer one more question and then I think I'll run away. Well, if you said you applied for work permit before, I did not push through. Have you applied for your GCMS notes? Please go and apply for your GCMS notes first to see why they refused your visa. That should be the first step. Once you apply for your GCMS notes, you will see the notes of the visa officer that reviewed your application. And then based on that, you ask yourself if it is necessary to apply for a visiting visa or not. Besides, if you don't have tangible reasons for visiting Canada, they might not grant you the visiting visa. That's my own opinion. No, don't go and quote me anywhere. It's my own opinion. Okay, let me just take one more question and I'll wrap up this live. If I didn't answer your question, please, I'll have to do another live because the questions are just too much. So yeah, I'll have to do another live to answer your questions. Okay, knock for new PNP of Newfoundland. Check. Okay, available or only professional. Check their website. I did the video. I left the link of the particular information in the description box of that video. So check that video out. Check the description box and you will find the information there. Okay, so I think I've answered all of your questions today. Thank you so much for joining me on this live. I'll have to create a time to answer your questions again. Most of the questions I answered are already in the public domain, right? They are not something I forged from anywhere. They are already in the public domain. Most of them are on the Government of Canada website. You can verify them for yourself. And if you're processing your application, it is best to talk to a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, please, or an immigration lawyer. Don't talk to agents. Agents will just mess you up. So talk to a regulated Canadian immigration consultant for your application or an immigration lawyer. So thank you so much for joining me today. See you in my next live. I don't know if it will be, I don't know which day, depending on my schedule. I'm so sorry. I'll try as much as possible to create videos for the ones I said I'll create videos on. And please check the previous videos I have done. Some of these questions, I had already answered them in some of my previous videos. So see you in my next video, next live, anyone. This one was impromptu. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye-bye.